Now back to Inside West Virginia Politics with Mark Curtis.
And welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. We want to continue our discussion of the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare. We've heard from supporters. Let's hear from one of the critics, Attorney General Patrick Morrisey, Republican of West Virginia. Great to have you on the show again.
It's good to be here, Mark.
You are what, one of 19 attorneys general around the country who have joined in this lawsuit,
Absolutely.
The state of Texas trying to get Obamacare overturned. Why?
Yeah, a couple of reasons. First, we saw Obamacare as not only being unlawfully passed, especially after some of the tax changes, but when I started to look at the premium explosions in West Virginia, many people may not realize this, but the working class folks in West Virginia, these are the guys that go to work every day, the lunch bucket, premiums have exploded 225+% in 6 years. That's outrageous. That's because of Obamacare. What we're trying to do is actually get this discussion back to Congress and the states, because that is not a sustainable model. If those premiums continue to explode, people won't be able to afford health care. That's what we're trying to fix. I want to tell everyone here and assure folks, people with pre-existing conditions, they're going to get help. No one's trying to take coverage away. That's not the purpose of the lawsuit. I know you get a lot of people out coming on your show trying to scare folks, but I can tell you, we have to do something to get these exploding premiums under control.
Well, we did have two groups, Rise West Virginia and West Virginia Citizens Action. They held a mock trial outside of your office in the Capitol the day that this case was heard in the Court of Appeals down in Louisiana. They are concerned 162 West Virginians will lose health insurance coverage. They are worried about 800,000 West Virginians with pre-existing conditions losing coverage. Are you, I mean, can you pretty much guarantee that there'll be a bill in Congress if Obamacare is overturned by the courts?
I'm going to go even further on this show today and say that not only will there be activity in Congress, but here in West Virginia, we can address any issues that may arise, especially on pre-existing conditions. That actually should be a state-based solution. So I've been working with my colleagues across the country. There's some legislation that I'm going to work with the Senate President, with the Speaker, with the Governor on to push to make sure that all of these con jobs that you're hearing on the other side, people know if you have pre-existing conditions, you're going to get the help you need.
All right, we're going to hold you to that promise as we get down the road with this issue. Let's talk about some other things. You recently held the Republican Attorneys General Association, met down at the Greenbrier. You had a lot of attorneys general from around the country. The EPA administrator was in town. What new, especially on the environmental front, did you guys talk about?
Well, a couple. First of all, it was always an honor to host 20 AGs who come in from across the country here in West Virginia. I think people know we've been out in front leading on a lot of issues to protect our state, and they're very important nationally. So it was terrific for the EPA administrator to come in, because we talked a lot about the pending environmental litigation. Many people may remember that West Virginia took the lead against the Obama power plant, and we really saved thousands and thousands of jobs. So now we're dealing with the aftermath and what comes next from a coal regulation perspective. So we actually talked a lot about that, the ACE rule and what's going to happen, and the need for West Virginia to continue to step in to protect hardworking, working class folks. And so we're building another coalition again to make sure we can work with the Trump administration on these environmental issues. So I think that it was a good meeting. We had the chance to talk about EPA protecting jobs. We had a chance also to talk a lot about opioids. We've been doing a lot of work together, pushing to make sure we hold the drug companies accountable, but also to go after the root causes of the problem and some of the issues with the federal government. They wouldn't even let a lot of the pill count numbers be publicized. Here in West Virginia, I did that because I want people to have that transparency.
All right, we're down to a minute. I got to ask you a political question. 2020 is next year. You're up for re-election again as Attorney General. A gentleman by the name of Pat Petzonk is announced on the Democratic side. Are you going to run? You're going to run for governor? You're going to do something? We're going to see your name on the ballot next year, maybe?
Well, I'm very likely to run for Attorney General. We're taking a close look at everything. But to be honest with you, I've been so focused on my job of really going after the opioid problem, protecting consumers, protecting hardworking jobs here in the state of West Virginia. I don't know this gentleman, so we'll leave that to another day.
All right, probably a debate on the Capitol steps if it comes to that again. You're famous for that. Patrick Morrisey, Republican Attorney General from the state of West Virginia. Great to have you on the show. We'll have you back again before long. We're going to have more of Inside West Virginia Politics after this break. Adrian Robbins will join us.